Mike Tyson showed his bare buttocks while being interviewed on the Netflix livestream before the bout. It's fitting, because he subsequently made an ass of himself when he got in the ring. Tyson was washed up in 2005. In 2024, he's just embarrassing himself. Father time is real. Boxing ability diminishes at 58 years old. Who would have thought? Tyson, fighting an officially sanctioned, professional bout for the first time in 19 years, was dominated by 27-year-old YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul on Friday night at AT&T Stadium. Paul won by a unanimous decision, 80-72, 79-73, 79-73, though most of the excitement came during their walkouts. This was a cash grab charade masquerading as a professional sporting event. It turned out to be the boring gimmick most predicted it would be. Why should anything else have been expected? I didn't prove nothing to anybody, only to myself, Tyson said after the fight. I'm not one of those guys that looks to please the world. I'm just happy with what I can do. Tyson, of course, lost 3 of his last 4 fights before he retired in 2005. Going back further, he had won just 5 of his last 12 fights before Friday's bout. He had looked awful in the ring, and after losing to Kevin McBride, he admitted as much himself. I don't have the guts to be in this sport anymore, Tyson said after that 2005 bout. I don't want to disrespect the sport that I love. My heart is not into this anymore. I'm sorry for the fans who paid for this. I wish I could have done better. I want to move on with my life. It's time to move on with my life and be a father, take care of my children. 19 years didn't miraculously restore any of Tyson's guts or heart. If he thinks he was disrespecting boxing in 2005, he's now brought it to a sad, new level. Tyson fell to July 2, 50, while Paul improved his record to 11-1. He is exactly what I thought, Paul said after the fight. He's an icon. He's a legend. I wanted to give fans a show, Paul added. But I didn't want to hurt someone who didn't need to be hurt. Tyson came out swinging aggressively and quickly had Paul on his back foot in the first round. But by the second round, Tyson was breathing heavy, and by the third round, Paul was the aggressor, landing a few big left hooks. Tyson was slow, hardly able to move or avoid Paul's onslaught, a sitting duck in the middle of the ring. He had no legs, losing his balance almost every time he was touched. Tyson barely threw any punches after the first round. Paul threw 278 punches and landed 78 of them, compared to Tyson throwing 97 and landing just 18. Despite being a betting underdog, Tyson was the clear favorite in the stadium. He was greeted like a hero while Paul was booed mercilessly. But fans left Friday night with a sorry image of what used to be one of the biggest superstars in the world. Once one of the most feared men in the world, Tyson. If this is the last time he gets in the ring, will leave the lasting impression of losing to a social media personality who took up boxing just a few years ago. By the end, the 72,300 fans were booing both fighters for the lack of action. Yes, the bout will be a financial success. Tyson is expected to earn around $20 million, while Paul is expected to bring in $40 million. The gate, the amount of money generated from ticket sales, surpassed $17.8 million, the biggest boxing gate outside of Las Vegas in U.S. history. Absurdity sells. But was it worth becoming a laughingstock? Not even the fewer, shorter rounds and bigger gloves, all stipulations designed to protect Tyson, could help the former champ. No matter the handcuffs they gave him, it's clear old men don't belong in fights. And if Paul thinks this will help him be taken seriously as a boxer, he should think again.